Hi everybody, hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. Today we're back on the Tim Holtz Remnant journal, and this is how mine looks, and I know this is how Sinead's looks, and anybody else who's kind of keeping up. I've got 5 signatures, 4 pieces of paper in each folded over, and I stitched them with a 5-stitch pamphlet stitch into this spine, which I made with this remnant of card in there. So this is what you call at this stage a false spine, a faux spine. And we'll see. Reverend Anne asked on the group quite how you go about attaching this to your journal. So I know I have shown it before, but please be patient. There's always new people come along, people that haven't watched the video on how to do this, so I'm happy to do it again, and then everybody's up to speed. So let's put this to one side. I have measured that spine there, and mine measures 2 1/8. Bit of an odd measurement, but that's what it is. So I've cut my spine to 2 1/8 inches, and then these I wanted to be, come back again, to be wide enough to cover these. I don't want these sticking outside the journal. I want them inside the cover. So I measured from there to there, and it was whatever it was. I can't remember now. It was a touch over 6.5. 6.5. Yeah, 6.5. And the journal itself is 8 1/4 tall, and I made this 8 1/2, so I'll have a little border around it. Now I'm using this grey board that I always use. You could use a couple of cereal boxes stuck together. I'd recommend something that's quite rigid. And because this is grey, and because the fabric I've chosen is very light, I was worried that the grey would show through and deaden the fabric. So what I've done is I've just gessoed the other side of these, and we'll use this to stick the fabric on with. Excuse me. Now the fabric, I want to show you the fabric because it's gorgeous. For you ladies and gents who are in the UK, I got this from Cotton Patch in Birmingham. It's a Kathy Holden fabric, and I just loved it when I saw it. I just loved it. And this is what it is. Oh, that's upside down. That's the right way around. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? It's just beautiful, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. So that's what we're going to use. That's what I'm going to use at any rate. So there we go. And right, so how do we put this guy together? Well, I'm going to use this, which is a machine embroidery stabilizer. It's tearaway, so it's cutaway. I'm sorry, it's cutaway stabilizer. You can't tear it, you have to cut it. So that's perfect to add a bit of stability to our journal cover. You could use tape down each side. It's just to cover this groove that we're going to be left with here. You could use fabric. Fabric is probably the best option. A piece of calico or something would be perfect. Since we moved, I cannot find my calico, so I'm using this. And I'm not sorry, we've used it before for this purpose. It works really well. You just don't want something floppy, so this has got movement on it, because it won't be durable. So I've cut this off at 5 1/4 inches, and it's probably way too long, but I have a big roll of it, of course I do, from when I used to make quilts. So I'm going to pop that there, and not at the end, because this is going to come over here, and I'm just going to glue that onto there, then glue this one level at the bottom and the top, obviously, with a little groove in between. And the groove wants to be not quite a quarter. Okay, so I think the first thing to do is to glue this down. What shall I use? Let me have a look. Right, so I've had a mooch in my adhesives drawer and I've come up with this. It's Pinflair bookbinding glue. Comes in a tub like this. This one's empty, but I've kept it just to show you because somehow the labels got torn off there. But it's the same. It's Pinflair bookbinding glue. And you can put it really, really thin, and it's very, very good glue. So it says that you can use it for cartonnage, quilling, greeting cards, and any fibrous items, which is what we've got. So let's just open that up. And I've got my Specsavers windscreen spreader here, but that works wonderfully. So it wants to go onto the gessoed side first. So let's just get some out. And we're just going to spread that there. And it's kind of hard to see this because it's white on white, but it'll be fine. Today's a shaky day, so I'm sorry. I'm very shaky. And I do have tablets for it now, but they don't work. So there we go. That's that on there. Don't really want it on the edges. Okay, so that will suffice for that. Let's pop this down and then put this down on it. And just fairly centrally. There we go. And I'm just going to get my brayer out and just press that down onto there. There we go. So that should be nice and firmly stuck now. Now we've got this to put here, and we do definitely want this to be straight. So what I'm going to do is just fold this up at the bottom of there and crease along it. So I've got somewhere to put this up to. Okay, and I'm going to leave, like I said, just a little less than 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch or thereabouts. And I'm going to get my pencil, if I knew where it was. Here it is. And just make a mark on the gesso side where I need to come to with my glue, which is about there and about there. Then I can put my glue down there. So let's just move that to one side. Come out of the glue, thank you, and do the same thing. Just put your glue down. Where's my marks? Here we are. So up to that mark, all the way down. And you really, if you're using this bookbinding glue, or I would say any bookbinding glue, you really don't want much. I don't know what that red's got to do with anything. Probably picked it up off my desk. So there we are. Let's scrape that off. And then when you think you've got it on, just scrape over it, because you really honestly want a very thin covering. So let's put that where we know it needs to go. So there's the crease in the thing, and there we are. I'm leaving an equal gap all the way up there. I'm going to press that down. Then get my brayer on the job and press it down really firmly. And that should just be, and it is, perfect. Brilliant. Mr. F's busy today making his ATC cards for the ATC swap. And if you're not in the ATC swap, why not? It's great fun. It really is good fun. The theme for this month of March, is handicrafts. And I also have been having fun playing with making my ATC, which is, well, I'm not going to tell you. You have to wait and see. So that comes to there, that comes to there, and then I can glue that. A credit card would do this equally well. It's just I've got this, and I don't happen to have an old store card or anything like that at the moment. I think I've used them all for making paper ruffles, which obviously doesn't use the credit card out, but that's its assigned job, and templates for tag corners and that sort of stuff. So I don't have one, so I'm using this that I got from Specsavers a couple of winters ago when I got some new glasses, and she gave me one, and I could see its potential, and I said, oh, can I have more than one? Yeah, I opened the drawer and there was like dozens in there, and she says, yeah, nobody seems to want them. Well, I do. So I think I got 3 from her actually, which of course is probably more than I needed. So just onto that crease at the bottom, keep that even all the way, that gap there. That looks good to me. Let's just check that's right. Yes, that's right. Press that down and barrier it into place. So there we are. We've got our 3 bits attached now, and this piece is going to come up over here and get stuck down, and this piece is going to come down here, and I just want to, I don't want that much of an overlap. I'm going to cut it there, that'll be fine. Okay, so this time I'm going to put the glue onto the stabilizer. You can see a bit better now what's going on. It's easier to see on the stabilizer. Right up to that crease. So we want it tight there where it folds over. So just take your time. I'm trying to be as quick as I can, but take your time and get this glued down really nicely. It's a really nice day here. Well, it is a nice day. It's very windy, but that's great for drying washing. So I've got my laundry on the line, so I am happy. So let's bring this down flat. Fold that up where it needs to go, like so. And then get your bone folder out, yep, and press that groove in. Really, really press it in. It's important that you do that. So you can go with your nail if you like. Just get that right in there. And same with this one. Press it right down so this part of the stabilizer is stuck to the other part on the front. There we go. Okay, so now it's time to do the other piece. I'm just going to move this glue away from the edge of the table because, yes, I know what's going to happen to it. And that would not be nice because I've got a rug under me and I think it would just about wipe the rug out, to be honest. I don't think you'd get it off there anytime soon or anytime at all. So you want a very thin covering because everything you add to this ends up, goes into that hinge there. Not only that, but bookbinding glue works best really when it's very thin. It doesn't want to be thick. So put it on and then lift it off with your scraper. Like that. So there still might be a little bit too much on there. Perfect. I'll just clean my scraper off a little bit, although I will go and wash it. I'm going to put the lid back on there so no calamity can befall it. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same with this side as I did with the other. Fold that up. Make sure that's a good crease at the bottom. There we go, and make sure that you've got your grooves in. Groovy. So they feel like they're going in there nicely. Pay attention to the bit that's doubled over because obviously it's twice the thickness. So yeah, they feel good. Well, that feels good. Let's move on to this one. And so this is kind of all the ins and outs of making a journal cover for a faux spine. And I do like faux spines. I just find them easier to sew into than through something thick like this. But, as you go on, you will find your own preferences. So there we are, that's that. So it does fold up really nicely. Those grooves work very well. If they aren't big enough, you won't be able to do that freely. You just won't. So that's that. I'm just going to leave that to dry. Make sure you've got the edges done nicely so you can get your fabric will look nice on it. And there we go. That's step one. Step one is done, and I can just leave that now to dry. I'm just going to put it to one side somewhere and just wash this glue off my media mat because I don't want to stick it to my media mat. There we go, and I'm going to leave that well alone for about an hour till it really dries. So I'll see you when I think that's dry. Bye for now. Right, I'm back. This has had way longer than an hour, I would say. Had my lunch, watched a bit of cricket, couldn't motivate myself to come back. But finally, yes, I did make it back. And I've cut my fabric out. It's not exactly the straightest in the land, but it's straight enough. And I haven't actually allowed that much top and bottom because I ordered 1/2 metre of this, and I'd like to be able to get 4 journal covers in total out of it. So this is kind of a quarter. It was a bit wider, but I've cut that off. So that's going to go there. Let's just have a sneak little peek, show you what it's going to look like. Oh, it's going to look gorgeous. That's lovely. Right, so we need to stick it down. And don't forget, it's the white side that you need to stick to the wrong side of the fabric. And this has got a direction. Not that that matters because there's nothing else in here. So whichever way we put it, that'll be fine. White side to wrong side. Okay, I'm going to stick the spine down first. So, oh, excuse me, just had to pause. You had a mad sneezing fit. Right, so let's stick the spine down and then we can worry about the sides after that, the back and the front. So I'm back in again to the bookbinding glue, and this is great because it doesn't come through the fabric. It's on so thinly that it just doesn't come out, you know, show through, which is what we're after. So into those grooves as well, make sure that you get plenty of glue in those. Oh, I can't help feeling like I'm going to sneeze again. Not now, I'm gluing. Come on. And for this, you really... Oh, excuse me. I don't know what set me off sneezing, I'm sure, but something has. Yeah, this you really don't want too much glue because it will come through the fabric. Any glue will if you've put too much on. But by smoothing it out like this, we should be fine. Just into that groove as well. I don't know which side of this has got the most glue on, but we'll usher that down into that groove. Scrape it across into that groove. There we go, I think that's all right. And just go down it and make sure there's no really thick bits, which we definitely don't want. Right, there we go. Let's just put the lid on that. Ugh, yes, I stuck it in it. And, oh, let's just wipe that up. I don't want my fabric sticking to that. Right, so where's the middle then? About there, I would say. So that looks kind of all right to me, but let's turn that over. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that looks good. Does it look straight is the next question. I'd say so. I'd say so. Yeah, okay then. So let's get the bone folder and push that right down. Make sure you've got a good attachment. And get your other end of your bone folder or something else that's spoon handle or something that'll go into that groove. Press that right down. Where's my groove? There's my groove. Push that right down so it's making contact with that thingy, whatever you called it, stabilizer. Yes, that's the word. There we go. So that should give us a really nice spine to work out from. Looks good to me. All I'm going to do now on this side is press those grooves in. So we really have got them. And the journal will open and close seamlessly. There we go. Phew. There we are. Right, okay. So now we can move on to either the front or the back, whatever it is. Front, I think. I'm just going to take that back to there and put my glue onto here. The reason I'm putting it onto here and not here is it's just easier. It's easier to put it onto the solid card. and then kind of scrape it off as you go. You can do this with paper. I'm choosing to do mine in fabric, but you can use paper, in which case it's kind of a whole lot easier really, I suppose. But why would we want easy? We don't do easy, do we? Well, perhaps at some stage I should do easy. Stop giving myself grief all the time. But there's no real grief, it's just time. It takes time. Time to get your glue down, etc, etc. And I don't think I've got any on that bottom bit there, so... And that's kind of an important bit. Okay. If you're leaving marks like that in it, you have got way too much. Right, so let's just get rid of some of that off there. Because that is definitely not needed and may even come through the fabric, which would be a disaster. So I'm just going over it until it's really, really thin. I'm getting there now, I think. Yeah, let's say that's done, shall we? So I'm just going to flip that over there, make sure my groove is still intact, and press that down. Oh my, oh my! The tension! There we go. Lovely. So let's get the brayer out and really, really brayer that down. You can see I've got additional glue because it's coming out the top, the brayer's picking it up. So for all it looked like I had none on it, I obviously had a little bit too much. Just going to put my grooves in again. Nothing should have disturbed them, but just in case. And let's have a look at that. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Okay, so just one more side to go. Just going to pull that back to there. Get some glue on here. And it's hard to spread when you don't have very much, so I'm kind of tempted to put more on and then take it off at the end, if you know what I mean, just so I can get it absolutely everywhere, and I know it's everywhere, and then scrape it off at the end. Right up to the edges. This edge too. Running out of glue on that little bit there. And right along the top. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. And then you can start to take it off. I think that's okay. So let's flap that down there. If you've got any creases or anything in your fabric, just make sure you pull it a little bit. I didn't have, I was lucky. I mean, you could always iron it, of course, but what's that about? You can just pull it straight as you stick it down. Oh, broken my brayer. Okie dokie, and just to make sure you've got this groove still in there. That's lovely. That really is great. It's a great job. So, well, I'm saying that, I think it is. Looks pretty good to me. Oh, I love it. I love that fabric. I do. It's where did I put the surplus? On here. Down the selvage, it describes what it is, I think, and it says Kathy Holden's junk journal for Moda. So that's obviously what you call the range. I didn't look at the others, to be honest, because I found that and just thought that is perfect. And it's kind of ironic that it's a Timmy journal and we're using Kathy Holden fabric, but they sing a bit from the same hymn sheet, don't they? So I saw this, thought that is exactly what I need. So I'm just, oh, I've got a bit too much glue there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's wipe that off. That's going to come through probably. Not that you'll see it, see this piece. I don't think we'll have that covered, yeah. So I'm just going to give that a little minute to dry while I have a bit of a clean up of my tools, although I'll have a look. I'll see in a minute. Okay, so I found some glue, the glue I was after actually. It's Collal bookbinding glue. And the reason I'm choosing this over the pin flare is not because I think it's better or worse. It's just, it has an easy dispenser, which makes it easier for me going around the edges. But before we get to that stage, we have to address these corners. Now then, you need to leave a little gap from the corner out. Don't cut your fabric right up to that corner, otherwise the grey board will stick out and it won't look pretty. So you can draw yourself a line if you want. If you've got the ruler, that ruler for example would do really nicely. It's just the sort of thickness that we want. Hold that up to the corner like that and then draw your corner in like that, so you can see that little line I've got there, and I'm leaving that gap there, and that's pretty perfect. So let's do that on all four corners. You don't need to. If you're competent at doing this, just do it. But I think it's never a bad idea to be over prepared. So it's just a line that you're going to cut to. Last one. This fabric really wasn't cut straight, but I'm not crying about it, it's fine. So let's cut those corners off, following our pencil line. So you can see now what's left there, a good little gap. Get out of my way, thank you. My desk, as ever, is in a right mess. So before we put anything on the inside of this, we have to think about a few things. We have to think, do we want, what sort of fastener are we going to have? And does it need to be on this before we put the inside piece on? A book plate, if you're putting a book plate on it, you definitely want to do that before you put the inside piece on. what sort of cover are we going to give it? All sorts of things that you need to just have in your mind. Don't need to be at the forefront of your mind, but they need to be in there somewhere. But none of that will stop us finishing this bit off. So, come on, Colal. Come on. Thank you. And I've just got an old paintbrush that I use for such things to just spread that out. I think I've been a bit stingy there. A little on the stingy side of life. So there we go. I'm hoping that I'll have this finished and up for you on Friday the 22nd of March. And then I'm having the weekend off because Sunday is my birthday. So that's really very little glue there, very, very little. But it means it gives me a start. So pull this towards you and then up and over. Don't go right to the end because we need glue in there. And right to that corner there, tight as you can, along there, that's lovely. Then just get your bone folder and just go along that edge, like that. Lovely. And then we're just going to carry on all the way around. I'll show you one side and then I think you'll have it by then. Oh, this is a bit stiff to come out of this bottle. I'm getting a workout with my glue yet again. There we go. And just spread that out. Right up to the edge. Doesn't matter how far in you come, it's going to be covered anyway. Just for your own convenience, you might not want to make it too far because it makes it really sticky. There we are, that'll be fine. And then we'll start at the middle and push that up and down away from us, like so. Taking care with the corner to really pull that in as tight as you can. There we go. Just get your bone folder and go along the edge. Just gives a nicer edge. A squarer sort of edge. There we go. So that's one side. So I'm just going to do the other side and then I'll be back to you. I'm not going to do anything different, except this time I am going to start in the middle and do the whole thing and turn it up. But you've seen me do that, so let's just cut those loose threads off, like so. Okay, so I'll be back in a sec when I've done that. Okay, so there we are, we've done that. So there's just these two edges to go. So it's the same really. This glue's decided today it wants to be a volcano when it does come out. So let's bear that in mind. Now it doesn't want to come out. Glue, it's a law to itself, isn't it? It really is. You can never tell what mood it's going to be in. I don't think there's much left in here. I think I'm getting to the end of it. Oh my goodness, come on. I think I bought this as part of a sort of pack that had, maybe I haven't got it open enough, I don't know, that had different sorts of glue in. Maybe I've just shut that, I'm not sure. I am not sure which way on, but it does not want to come out. Come out. Thank you. Lovely. That's probably too much, but given the situation, it's the best I can do. Right, so we'll just spread that again as best we can, right up to the edge, and everywhere that you think the fabric's going to come to, like so. That's great. So now what you need to do is, with this corner, just press it in with your nail. Press that extra bit of fabric in, down to, so it's creased up there, along there. And same with this one. I can't do it with my right nail because I'm left-handed. So just press it in up to here, and you can feel it going up to there. And it just pushes that in a little bit. And then starting from the centre, same as ever, pull it over. Just make sure that really is in, otherwise you'll see the workings, which we don't want to see. Like that. Perfect. That's neat and tidy. Same here, just make sure it's really in. Pull that over and stick it down. And that's that. And they're nice, tidy corners. Tidy. Yep, happy with that. Lovely. So let's do the other side. So we're nearly there. It's almost, the fabric part of this is almost finished. So let's open that as big as we can get it, which I think is about there. And go right into the corners with it, and that way they'll be more durable when it's dry. Wow, there's loads of glue coming out here. Stop! Nice happy medium would have been good, but obviously that wasn't on your mind today, was it, Mr. Glue? So, right up to the corner, right along there. And this bit's a bit wider because of my poor cutting, so I'm just going to bring that glue back a little way so I catch all of that. Right up to the corner again, so it's when you fold it in it stays there. There we go, that's fine. Then the same thing, just push that corner in like that. And this one, let's try it with my right thumb. Yeah, I think I can do it. Let's push it in like that, like so, and then off you go. Same again. Nice corner, lovely corner. Yep, happy with those corners, they're nice. And there we go. Now I'm just going to leave that for not very long, 10 minutes probably, just until all this extraneous glue's dried. What we had down there is drying, but it's not dry. But yeah, I mean, that's looking very nice. Very nice, actually. I like it. So, in the interim, while I'm not with you, I'm going to be thinking, I'm going to wash my brush, of course, and I'll be thinking, do I want to put any sort of metal things on here that I want to put on before I put the paper on the inside. So I'll be considering that whilst I'm washing my hands and my brush. Okay, so yes, once again I got caught up doing other stuff, so it's been a little while, but this is now bone dry. I'm pleased with those corners, they're looking mighty good, if I say so myself. Now comes the groovy bit. Yes, we want to stick this, our faux spine, onto our spine here. So let's have a good look at the size of the problem here and just see how much we've got to play with. So top and bottom, I'd say that's 1/8 of an inch. So bearing that in mind, we want to put this in with 1/8 of an inch top and bottom. And I'm going to use collal for this because, well, ostensibly we're sticking paper to paper, so that will work. But it does give you a bit of room to wiggle, which sometimes you need. Make sure before you do, if you want to, that you've inked up the top edge and the bottom edge of your false spine. And then, yeah, let's go for it. So I'm going to put my glue, I should have brought my brush in, but never mind. I'm going to put my glue on this, on the spine section, right up almost to the top. And not into the grooves at this stage, but you do want quite a bit of glue. And if it splooches out, that's a technical term, splooch, I've never used that word before, I don't know where it came from. If it, you know what I mean, if it comes out the edge, it doesn't really matter. You don't want it to come out the top and bottom if you can help it. But you do want that to be well attached, so. Right, what I'm going to do now is just take my finger and smooth that out a bit so there's glue everywhere. It makes it less likely to go splooching. So that's fine, that's good. Let's just wipe that off, I can't bear the feel of it. Right, so I find it easier if you get it kind of here, tucked up like this. Just one more check, top is this side and the top of my journal is here. So I'm just starting right where that groove ends. Make sure that I've got it where I want it. Fold it over like so, and I can bring that just a tiny touch that way. I think that looks good. Let's see what the back looks like. Yeah, I think that's okay. Maybe down a fraction. Just by eye, just gauge where you think it's right. And then if you fold that out, does that look right? Does it look straight? I believe it does. Does that? Yeah, I believe so. So that's kind of that. It's in. So let's press those down and then go through each signature here and press that, really firmly press that down. This is what's holding your journal together, so be firm, be masterful. There we go. The next one. And collal does not grip straight away, so you might have to be a little patient with it if you're using collal or something similar. Fabri-Tac would work for this, Beacon 3-in-1 would work. I just would stay away from the Bailey Arts and the Art Glitter Glue because they have too much of an instant grab. you can't move it around enough. Just, you know, in case you put it on a bit skew with. Like now I probably could still pull this off if I needed to. And just down there up to the groove. So we've still got this bit, you can see the groove there. This bit is not attached. And let's have a look at the front, see what it looks like. Yeah, we've got that bit there. Give it a good press down. And this bit, you can still see the groove there. So, yeah, I think we're okay. So what I'm going to do now is prop this up like this. If you're content that you've got as much pressing down as you can get done in between your signatures, just give it one more good press for good measure. And I'm just going to leave that now. And I'm going to prop those up like that to take any pressure off it while it's drying. So I'm just going to use my water demisters to hold that like that. And here endeth today, really. There's not much more I can do until all this lot is really dried and set and, you know, good where it is. So that will, you know, we're now at 3:45 in the afternoon. I don't know what time I started this, but it feels like hours ago. So if you get up to that stage, the next video I'll show you what I've decided to do on my outside of my front cover and how to cover these bits here. I was thinking of using, I might not like, but I was thinking of using this piece, which I really quite like. It's I did it, I made it myself. I did it on mixed media paper, I think, and then just scanned it and printed it out. So yeah, quite like that. Be better like that way maybe, but it might be a bit, I don't know, might be too much, I don't know. Anyway, that's one option I've got. I could just use ordinary Timmy paper in there. Let's see if I've got a bit that's big enough. Well, this bit is, but it's 2 6-inch pieces, but it'll do to show you what I've got in mind. So once you've got this stuck down, you'll have a clear idea where that groove is, which is there. And then you can put your paper there up to wherever you fancy, really, and cover that. Like that. You need something that's, for my taste, a little bit wider. Brings it up to there. But that's the plan. And that's after we've decided what's going on the front cover. So I'm going to leave that there today. I'm going to thank you very much for your company, as always. I hope you get yours up to this stage, and then you'll feel like you've really accomplished something, which you have. You absolutely have. So, yeah, thank you very much. Have a really nice weekend. Spare a thought for me on Sunday because it's my birthday, as I said, and I really will not be making a video that day. Who knows? I might no, probably won't tomorrow because I'm having the weekend off. So next Monday will bring me around to finishing the cover off, and then we can get back to making the remnant pieces to go inside it. Looks lovely like that, doesn't it? I really like it. It's all wavy and nice. So bye guys, have a nice weekend. See you on Monday. Bye. Bye.